Let's bring in Stacie René. She's a motivational strategy speaker, mindset life coach, as well as an author. Always great to have you with us on the MegaCast. Happy Tuesday.
Thank you. So glad to be on, and happy Tuesday and happy day, right?
I know, and at first I have to say, your mic, because of the way the light's hitting it, I thought you blinged it out, and I was going to be like, "Oh my gosh, I need that."
Yes, it is. It does make it look a little fun with the lights and everything. So you have to spice it up, right? We make our own fun, and so this is my fun.
Well, it's always great having you on with us, and we learn so much when you're here. But not only that, you always pick up our spirits. And so, with that, let's just jump into the topic today. We want to talk a little about teens
Yes.
on this Tuesday, right? And I think in the beginning, trying to talk with your teens about the pandemic and what they're going through. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, but we're almost 7 months into this. And really, there's no insight, no end in sight. I would imagine the teens are really starting to feel the stress of this pandemic. You're a parent as well.
Yes.
What advice do you have for parents out there?
Well, you know, every advice is going to be different for every parent. And the issue with advice is that every child is going through a different experience and they're going through different things. And what I noticed is there is such a lack of support right now into where the teens can go because they're all in a funky state of shock right now. And how do we handle this? This is new to all of us human beings and how we cope with it. And again, every teen, whether they're extroverted or introverted, is experiencing different things. And also what their parents are allowing them to do. I've heard some parents are like, no, you're not going anywhere, you're not doing anything. And I have other parents who are working with the same type of parents and saying, all right, well, because we're in the same cluster or the same area, let's get our kids together. And so they're having a different approach to this whole staying at home. And of course, as you know, our school district is still online and isn't planning on going back until mid-January. And then it's just a my mess right now, to be honest with you.
And I wonder too about, it's hard enough when you're a parent and I remember these conversations where with my niece and nephew where it was like, well, so and so's parent is letting them go to the concert alone, so and so's parent got them a cell phone, so and so's parent did A, B, C, D, and E. So when it comes to COVID and you have families reacting differently to it, it's a little bit harder conversation to have with your child for them to understand and to respect as a parent why you are putting these guidelines in place for your particular family.
You nailed it. Absolutely. And the thing is, what one parent allows their child to do, another parent doesn't, and now that teen feels left out. And then, well, if all of their friends are doing something over here and the one over here isn't allowed to, well, then they now become separated. So now they're even feeling worse than they were before. And again, they have they don't have any outlets right now. Sports are there, but they're scarce, and things just are not the same. And I know that everybody says we're adaptable, and sure we are, but it takes a lot of mental strength to understand what you want to do. And I've been working with some psychologists and some therapists in the area, and even the pediatricians. And I have to tell you, they are telling me that they have been writing more scripts for antidepressants for teens than they ever have. One even said, he's like, and I'm only one doctor, is writing anywhere from 12 to 15 new scripts a week for antidepressants. And we're just trying to keep everything together, and you can do that. But if they don't have a resource or they don't have a program, and not everybody wants to see a therapist or a psychiatrist, and not only that, but they're booked. I mean, they're completely booked, which is why, going through some things that I've been through with my own family, I have to tell you, I understand what some of the other parents are going through and where do they send their child and what do they do, and it's a sensory overload for even the parents because they're working, they're trying to make ends meet and trying to keep it all together, but what does their teen do, especially if they're at home and they have no place to go?
And so many teens are spending so much more time alone at home, especially the high school ones who are still learning virtually at a lot of school
Mm-hmm.
districts. With that in mind, I know that you have a series coming up
Mm-hmm.
focusing on teens. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
I do. Thank you so much. And the reason why this program has been developed, it's things that I've been doing for such a long time, but I have tailored it more towards the teen, what they can best utilize. And this program is something that actually just will help them in the now, but it will also help them in the future. So these are all habits and a new way of thinking and the overall mindset of how you can do things. So the teens will learn mindset, goal setting, neuroplasticity, because I think that they have to understand why are they thinking this way, use it or lose it type thing, and why are some teens having an easier time remembering things and the other teens aren't. So I think that that's important to understand. And as much as they're like, I don't want to learn about science, this is just a little bit of a tidbit, but something fun that they'll understand and be able to process. They'll also understand about their ego and self-esteem, and if they don't get invited to something, how do they react to that? How to overcome those feelings and emotions. Also, of course, we have to touch on social media and what it's doing to them on a daily basis, and decreasing stress, because with all of this, stress is right there. It's right there at the top of our heads. And then if they understand their confidence a little bit more, it will help them. And then also kind of visualizing and seeing and wanting to build their future. So we're going to tap into maybe a vision board, as well as changing your morning habits and your evening habits, because how you start the day and end the day is so crucial to your everyday functionality. So these are things that they are learning. And again, this program is not designed or developed for through a therapist or a psychologist, but I have worked with them and went through my program, and they're thinking, or they said that this is a great program. For 8 weeks, they will use so much, and then they will learn so much. And then on top of it, they can download an app, of course, social media, here we come, more of it. They can download an app called WhatsApp, and then they won't be just left hanging. They can communicate with the other people that are in this series. And I don't necessarily want to call it a program, because I don't want them to think that it's something that my parents are making me go to, because that's not the case for this. This is just something to help build their future, have them understand their feelings, their emotions, but without a push for any therapy or making them feel like they're in a session, because that's what we don't want them to feel. So this program of keeping, I shouldn't say program because I just said program, this series is just having them connected in a different way and having them meet new friends as well.
What's great about this, I think, though, is it's trying to teach them habits
Mm-hmm.
early in their life so that these are habits that they can carry with them well
Mm-hmm.
beyond their college days, but into their future as well.
Absolutely. So that's why this program has been actually proven and tested, because I did a pilot and beta group, and the success that those teens that were in it have succeeded, and their families actually came to me and private messaged me and said, you have no idea what you did for my teen, not only for them, but what you've actually done for our family. And I think that right there is proof that, what we do, how we implement our day, and make our own selves accountable. I mean, you do have to put some effort into it, just like you get up every morning and you brush your teeth, and they have to do their schoolwork. There is some effort that has to be put in, but these efforts that we're doing for this program are actually going to be a lot of fun, and they can tap in and they can, share their positive experience with all of us without feeling like we're making them do it. And it's just going to be an overall amazing experience for the teens, and something that they can feel good about, and they can feel like they've accomplished more in a day than they normally would have.
Stacie René with us, motivational strategy speaker and mindset life coach, joining us on the MegaCast today. Stacie, this new course for teens, 8 weeks long. Any plans to make one for adults as well, or parents maybe, that are going through similar rough patches and trying to reset their daily mindset to be more positive?
Absolutely, there sure is. And, taking these same types of strategies and systems or techniques that we have definitely is aimed toward adults. I do have programs that are for adults, actually one coming up on October 21st starting, and it's going to, again, deliver information that they need, that they can use to build their future and visions. If you don't have that set, then it's harder for you to move on. And here's the thing, with all of our thoughts that we think between 50 and 7,500, and some of us even 10,000 thoughts a day, because our minds are geared towards negativity more. I mean, that's the reality of it, right? We think more negatively. And 90% of those negative thoughts, or those thoughts in general, shift over to the next day. So you're rethinking and you're putting more thoughts and more energy into all of it. And it's hard to get out of if you don't truly have the tools and understanding of how to change those habits. Just like when you get up, like I mentioned before, when you get up in the morning and brush your teeth, that is a habit. You go to bed, you've got your routine at night, right? And for the ladies, you have your face washing routine. For the guys, you get up in the morning and maybe you shave. It's all about routine and habits. Sure, it's not going to be easy right at its first balance, but if you take this series or one of these programs, I make it pretty darn easy for you, and I make it so it's not overwhelming, because as we know, we want everything now, and I'm able to give that to you to a certain level, but you do have to put some effort, some time into it. And the number one thing, my friends, is don't live in the past. Because I used to do this. I used to have this. I used to have this salary. And I used to be so happy and bubbly, but you're not living in it now. So you're depressed. You're not feeling good about yourself. What are your thoughts giving you? What are they taking you? And it's all, whatever's happening to you right now is what your thought, your behavior, and your belief system is. So, heck, everyone, let's shift out of it. I can tell you how, and that's the beautiful part of my programs, is it truly is a benefit because of my heart and my passion, because I have been there on my hands and knees, in tears, crying, not knowing what the heck, until I actually snapped out of it and said, hello, I know how to get out of this. And I stood up and I make it happen. And yes, it is effort, because you want to think back to the negative, and I have the tools to say, all right, cancel, clear, delete, cancel, clear, delete, cancel, clear, delete, and then get myself back on the right track. Because that's what you need to do, is just catch yourself in the act of going back into the past and stopping it, stopping the negative thoughts, stop the negative behaviors, and move forward. And that's what we need to do, is catch ourselves. And the programs that I have for the teens, man, anyone that does this program is going to be so far ahead of the other teams, because they're going to know how to control their actions. They're not going to let other people get into their psyche, into their mindset, into their belief system, because they're like, hey, it doesn't bother me. And that's going to be a lot of strong willpower that is going to just do so much for them now and into the future, not just through school, but when they go to college, when they get a job. So to enforce all of this now, awesome idea.
Stacie René with us here on the Oakland County MegaCast. I always feel like I have a bolt or a jolt of energy when you come on the show, because you are extremely energetic. And I met you in person once, and you're the same way in person as you come across through Zoom as well. And Stacie, not just for the teens, but for the adults out there as well. so many people are under stress right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're dealing with more things than they ever thought they would ever have to deal with, especially the parents that are having to work, the ones remotely, but also try to homeschool their kids that younger age too, like 5, 6, 7, 8 year olds, while trying to also maintain their work-life balance on top of all of this. And I know we've talked before on the show about trying to, what you just mentioned, control, alt, delete, to snap people out of their mindset. But when people feel like they start off with so much intention and so much enthusiasm, but then they go back into their old habits, how do you break them out of that to get them remotivated to a point where it becomes a new lifestyle?
It's all about reminders and reminding, because again, I mentioned I've been there, and I teach this stuff. I know about it, but I too need reminders. So I use things such as, let me show you here, such as a $100 bill. And this is just actually not a real $100 bill, but it's just one that I use in one of my series. And it just, using a $100 bill is a trigger for me and a mindset reminder about self-esteem and, thinking about where I want to be and not worry about outside sources or what I see on social media. That this right here reminder is that there's two sides to every story, two sides to everything that happens. And it's these types of tips and tools that we can use as adults and teens to remind us. It's about putting a little mantra in your car, or teens, on your phone, on the front of your phone. I had one of my clients do that, and every time he would get his phone, it would pop up, and he's like, oh yeah. So he would have to constantly have that reminder that I am awesome, successful, and smart. I succeed at what I put my mind to. Again, you have to say it again. I am awesome, successful, and smart. I succeed at what I put my mind to. And let me tell you, everyone, you need the reminders. If I need the reminders, I know you need the reminders. And I'm currently teaching a program right now, and it's about visualizing your future. And I've got a co-presenter that I do this with. And during this, I have even the adults say, thank you so much for the reminder of the morning habits, because I forget to take care of myself. And what do? I grab my phone first. And then, then another gentleman even said, he's like, thank you for telling me about the habits at night and how to get my mind to stop working and using it, because I'm thinking about all the things that I should have, could have, would have done. And I have to tell you, if you're thinking about that at nighttime, you're thinking about all the things that you would have, should have, could have done, not all your accomplishments. And that is not a calming mechanism. You need to think about things that you want for tomorrow, things about the things that you did accomplish, and stop being so hard on yourself. That's the problem. We think so much of what we could do, and when is enough enough? You have to step back and say, hey, this is my own four walls that I am responsible for, and I have to take control of. So you have to have yourself reminders. I have the tips and the tools to do that, and it's just ones that we can be reminded of daily. And just like when you're going on a new eating habit or a lifestyle change to get healthier, lose weight, and all of a sudden you're in the middle of eating some ice cream and you're like, oh crap, I forgot I should not be eating that. Because let me tell you, it's happened to me, and I know it's happened to everybody else. You put it down. You don't say, oh, I'm just going to finish eating this whole thing, and I'm going to go have a bag of chips, and I'm just going to continue eating like crap for the rest of the day, and I'll just start tomorrow. Absolutely not. You pick up right there where you need to be, stop yourself, and that's when you have to remind yourself to get in control. Use your sticky notes. Use your little reminders that I have. I even have one for seeing balloons or looking at your keyboard, and there's so many other things that you can stop yourself from doing. Everything in life is a habit. Everything in life is a routine. You're responsible for it. So I can help you with that.
Stacie René with us, motivational strategy speaker and mindset life coach, joining us on the Oakland County MegaCast. Stacie, just another couple minutes with you before we'll have to let you go. Anything else that you'd like to discuss today, or any other information that would be important for our audience to know at this time?
Absolutely. My thought is, in order to lead a positive life, you have to have a positive mindset. And with my programs, and I'm not out just shooting to say, hey, join my programs, be a part of it. I truly have a passion because not only have I gone through my hardships, especially recently, I have gone through a really difficult and earth-shattering experience with my own family and things that are going on. And, it takes the support of my husband and, my own family and my friends. And I have a true passion for teaching these skills because not only do I see when I don't use them how I can fall apart, but when I do use them, they make me excel. And I succeed with them. And I've got the proven testimonials from other people that just say, hey, this really does work. And not only that, but I have the backing and support of therapists and psychologists and the pediatricians. And, I want all of us to be happier and to be more successful, or I wouldn't have put these programs together. And I think that we have to start somewhere. We need someone like this program to say, hey, let's open our arms, let's help everybody as a community, and let's be the village that we need to be, because right now we need to be strong and help each other. If you're interested in registering, you can go on my website. It's Stacie René. It's STACIERENE.com, and you can register on it that way. I do have an app as well that you can go and see the programs that I do offer. Again, Stacie René. And you can just reach out to me or just send an email. So I'd love to be there as a resource, as a guidance. I do mindset coaching, and I love changing people's minds to see what they truly can accomplish and utilizing what they already have and excelling in what they are really good at. So I'm Stacie René, and I'd love to be there as a resource for you.
Stacie, quickly before we let you go, a question for you. Do you suggest people join one of your classes or one of your programs with a friend? Because I kind of think, just like when you start going to the gym, you're so much more accountable if you have a partner that goes with you. Would that be something that would also benefit for people looking at joining one of your programs, or maybe even reading your book and buying your book and making one of their own classes, like a master class per se?
Absolutely. There's proven statistics that show that you will succeed more so when you have an accountability partner or buddy. And that goes for working out, for programs like I offer, for really anything. And because you have ideas to bounce off of each other, because our minds are so different. And I could say one thing and she'd be like, oh, I thought of it this way. That is such a good point. And the other person, I never thought of it in that aspect. And so not only are you getting the program, but you're actually getting more out of it because you're bouncing ideas out of somebody that you trust with them. So I appreciate you bringing that up because that is a really good, valid point. And who doesn't want the most out of what they can get if they're doing a program? And who doesn't have 8 weeks to give 8 hours out of their life to better themselves, to build their future and be a better you? Have a positive mind. It'll take you everywhere.
That is a good note to leave on. Stacie René with us here on the Oakland County MegaCast. Always great having you on with us.